This is Ryan, and his business hit over $1 million this year. Not just that, he was able to take home over $600K in an industry that most people haven't even heard of. Just a few years ago, he was a videographer. Now he owns a media studio producing content for some of the biggest podcasters in the world. And the craziest part, he said AI is the reason he's growing so fast. So I met up with Ryan to see how he built $1 million studio and how he's leveraging AI in his day-to-day to scale it. Excuse me, sir, quick question for you.
I've got literally the biggest investor in the world coming in.
Just one question for the younger generation. What is the most amount of money you made in a single year?
Me personally?
Yes.
$650,000.
$650,000? That's incredible. And what industry are you in?
Media.
As in videography?
Yeah, I own the one and only smart and autonomous podcast studio in the world.
Oh my gosh. What would it take for me to spend the day with you and tour the studio?
Today's probably not the best day. You probably have to sign some NDAs and stuff, just given who's in there, but...
I'm down. Let's do it.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, all right.
What was the initial investment cost?
I just got Bill Gurley's number.
So not a year.
It just doesn't work like that.
So how long have you had your studio?
3.5 years.
So I'll sign the NDA, but tell the camera who's in the studio.
Bill Gurley and Chris Williamson.
Is Bill Gurley the investor in Uber?
Yep.
Okay, so this is a normal day inside Media Pouch. You have both studios going right now with people recording. Who do we have in the studio today?
Bill Gurley, famous Uber investor. Chris Williamson, famous podcaster. Over here, we've got Jason Scharf, investor, and then Nate Jones. Very normal day for both studios to be going at once. We're averaging about 8 bookings per day.
I can imagine when you first started Media Pouch, this wasn't the caliber of guests that you had. What would you say has been the contributing factor over the years to build those relationships with people in the industry?
Well, it actually was. So we got lucky on day one and we had like 3 big influencers come in. So that kind of snowballed everything into what it is now. People of this caliber with wealth, fame, they're going to work with people that they know and trust through referrals, mutual friends, mutual connections. Like they get 1 million inbound all day, every day. So they want to go with a place or person or service or product or brand that someone's vouching for.
Can you send me a note?
Definitely. Let me get your number.
Yes.
I just got Bill Gurley's number.
So we are in one of 2 of your studios at this location. Walk me through, what was the initial investment cost for the equipment that we have in this studio?
This studio was our first one. $30,000 was this one. We were just bootstrapping it, did everything on our own. And that was a lot of work, so we got to save some money.
What is the usual equipment that you have in each of your studios?
Yeah, so everything's standardized. We use the Sony cameras, Sigma lenses, Tamron lenses, slat walls, SM7DB mics, and then aperture lighting. Standardizing everything helps you scale.
So walk me through, what is the difference between the setup that you have versus a lot of other studios?
They probably have all the same gear. They probably have all the same looks. Like they could design the same studio as me, but what they don't have is our software. So our proprietary software that we created live edits the podcast for you. So that's how we're able to do so many podcasts in a day, because we don't have to have a person over there live switching it. Our software is just doing that. Yeah, from the time a person books the studio, they're filling out an intake form. Their only job is to pick a date, time, pay, show up, tap a smart button, and then our system is handling everything else.
The reward is in repetition, and reputation builds reputation. This is an important thing to note from a business perspective. Not only has Ryan been able to create incredible relationships in the industry and serve a lot of high caliber clients, but he also has been very strategic on his business model when building this out. When he started working with these higher caliber clients, he needed to understand what is the problem that they want solved. Yes, they want a reputable place to film. Yes, they want a place that they can trust and they can come into consistently.
They want to go with a place or person or service or product or brand that someone's vouching for.
But not just that, they want to save time. And so Ryan needed to look at how can he save their time. He did this in 2 ways. One, he built out an incredible AI software that edits for these podcasters.
Our proprietary software that we created live edits the podcast for you.
But 2, he focused on LTV, which is something all of us can do in our business. He focused on the lifetime value of his customers. How can he get them to not just come in once, but get them to come in time and time again and build that reputation? He did this by implementing the reoccurring membership model. Now his clients aren't just coming in on one-off sessions, they pay for a monthly membership. They can schedule their sessions whenever they want to. Now every single month, they have the consistency of knowing they can film in that studio X amount of times per month, and Ryan has that lifetime value of the customer. We've made it to Studio 2.
This is definitely my favorite. The reason it was the second one was because it was a lot more expensive. So this one was $60,000. All in, rough construction, equipment, $100,000. We actually had to solve a problem too, which was like the black studio is cool for men. Every woman that walked in here was like, it's too dark, it's too alpha, it's too masculine. It's like, okay, let me create the opposite. White, airy, chic, modern. Boom. And we can go to any color possible that you want.
Let's go. So if we were to pick up 20-year-old Ryan, drop him into your day-to-day today, what did he need to learn to be able to sustain the business you have now?
Trust your gut. I actually can't be here today without making the mistakes that I've made, because now I know what the red flags are, and that feeling that I get in my gut, like whether it's good or bad, I 100% trust it now.
You've built $1 million podcast studio. You have relationships with some of the best podcast celebrities in the world. Has there been business deals that have gone south?
Yeah, I mean, you can't be in business without them. It's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, like, there's a reason I have this tattoo on my back, and it says, never a failure, always a lesson.
There's someone that's in a phase in business right now where it feels like it's one step forward, two steps back. What would be your advice for them that's in the thick of it right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the thick of that right now. I'm learning something new about software. Like, I mean, you guys saw it earlier with Jason and Nate. Jason was giving us some feedback on the software, and it is one step forward, two steps back, but that does change to 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and then 10 steps forward, 1 step back. And it's just patience.
Sometimes providing a repetitive, consistent customer experience doesn't always have to be doing extravagant things. Here's some extra fine touches that Ryan has done to increase his customer experience. One of these examples is he has a fridge in the waiting room of the podcast studio. Now you can see Chris Williamson comes in, he goes straight to the fridge and picks out a beverage. This saves so much time for his clients because they know every single time, consistently, when they go to Ryan's podcast studio, they're gonna have a full fridge option of caffeine beverages. Not just that, Ryan is able to leverage this even with a sponsorship beverage deal to build a relationship with a beverage company or just put their brand out there. He's now able to build relationships and provide an incredible customer experience with this one touch. Another thing that Ryan does is he has both studios consistently booked out at the same time. He does this because he knows the value of having his separate guests in the 2 different studios meet in the waiting room. He is now able to connect high-level individuals, and this is where deals are made. So his clients want to book at his podcast studio, not just to shoot their podcast, but to network and create connections to find their next guest.
We got tired of live switching. First iteration of the code was built with ChatGPT. Phase 1, phase 2, brought on a software developer and put all the bells and whistles on it. Phase 3 will be the integration of AI, where instead of looking at audio dB levels, we're gonna start looking at facial expressions and movements.
That's cool. Now, a lot of people fear AI, that it's taking people's jobs and things like this. In this case, it has incredibly helped you as a founder. What would be your piece of advice for somebody that's maybe scared to step into implementing those things into their business?
I think it will take over. I'm the first one to acknowledge that it took this person's job right here, but it's also creating more jobs. Now we have increased capacity. So that means I need more than one studio manager. So I need more customer specialists.
Walk me through, Ryan, day 1 of Media Pouch. Is this what you thought this was going to turn into?
No, because I didn't even want a studio. I was actually scared to start a studio because I thought that there was so much overhead cost and not enough revenue to come in to like supplement that cost. So I thought it was kind of like extra baggage. And so I avoided it. But yeah, we started with high-end video production, editing. In 2021 is whenever I saw the market shift from brands paying production companies to brands paying influencers, UGC. Okay, great. How do we stay alive and thrive? Those guys are all going to need to create content because they're getting the budgets, but they have no idea how to create. There was this surge in people wanting their own at-home studios, and then we obviously went on to create the studio, because if we create the space, then we're still going to keep our slice of the pie in the media industry there.
And what is the most amount of revenue a single studio makes in a year?
Both studios going at the same time. Our trailing 6-month average right now is about $3,250 per day.
So $900,000 to $1 million a year.
2 studios running at the same time. You have economies of scale, so everything's scaling with one. So if you're at one, each individual one can do basically 40,000. The way I'm getting to the 45-ish is just with the add-ons there. You got your studio bookings, the add-ons, that's how we're getting there.
Absolutely. And so your client retention is really high because you're building these incredible relationships where they're just coming in and bringing their guests regularly. So when it comes to client acquisition right now, are you really having to do much marketing, or it's all word of mouth?
The only kind of marketing, like paid marketing that we do is with SEO, AEO, and GEO. Those three things are the only ones we're paying for, but everything else from day one, like, I mean, it's the most beautiful thing about the studio. People come in, they create content, they're sharing it on their own. The studio markets itself. We don't even have to pay for content creation. We don't have to pay for influencers. Everybody pays us to come in here and then do our job for us. Biggest difference between the billionaires, millionaires, and like everybody else that like comes through here, the people at the top, they've already made it. So for them, giving back, mentoring, whatever, they're more than happy to do it because they've already done the thing that they wanted to do. Versus everybody else where it's still the me show. Help me, help me, help me. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's the difference.
And we saw that as well when Bill's team called you and they're like, hey, we have an extra book for you too. A lot of people believe that someone that's made it, or a business owner that has the company that they want to accomplish or that they want to build, is going to judge them or going to look down on them for just getting started. And that is the complete opposite of the truth.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think you get to where you want to go without somebody else who lent a hand to you first. It's all about paying it forward at that point.
So I want to kind of switch gears and talk about podcasts, because you've worked with some of the biggest podcasts in the world.
Yep.
And you mentioned earlier that it's kind of the 80-20 rule. There's only 20% of podcasts that are really crushing it and making high revenue with the podcasts that they have. What would you say is the difference between those average podcasts and then these podcasts that are doing high amounts of revenue and views every month?
It's interesting. I mean, at this point, we've had over 4,000 clients in the last 3.5 years. So I really have seen it all, from like people just starting out to people, you know, like Chris, who are obviously crushing it. Of the 4,000, I've only seen one person who started with nothing and built it into 7 figures within 18 months. That's an anomaly. You have to provide extreme amount of value and then be paid. Everybody's doing it backwards. They want to get paid and then provide the value. It just doesn't work like that.
This was an incredible day in the life. We got to see the behind the scenes of a really cool story. Not just did we see a podcast studio that's absolutely crushing it and leveraging AI, but we saw the story of a founder that started as just a videographer, picking up the camera, not knowing where his career would take him, trying to solve one problem of creating content, and now his journey has guided him to solving problems for some of the biggest podcasters in the world. And not just that, building out a software with AI, coding, building out something that has never been built before that is going to change the game for content creation. This is a great example of how you are just like Ryan. All you have to do is start in one area and start solving problems, and that journey will take you somewhere you never imagined it will take you. We'll see you guys in the next video.